Welcome to Sharing My Truth with Mel and Suzie, the uncensored version, where we bear it all.
We do.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, and welcome back to Sharing My Truth Pod. You're here with Suzie and Melanie, and it's Sharing My Truth Pod, where you get all your sex, relationship, dating, life, love, talk of the day. And we have a little bit of fun while we do it. And this is just your friendly little reminder to give us a cute little review, little 5 stars if you want. On this podcast, that'd be amazing. You could also follow us on all socials at Sharing My Truth Pod. Hey, babes.
Hello, darling.
How are you?
I'm good. I like the sun to be shining, but other than that, but I you know, there are climatary?
I don't think
that's
it's
not
a
even
word.
a word. Climactic, that sounds
Oh,
exciting.
I like that.
Climate issues. So we're not going to talk about it, but I like some sunshine. But other than that, everything's fine.
Yeah, but you're from the Britain.
Oh, for goodness sake.
So don't you like a little bit of rain?
Now it's the rain. Honestly, do you know the amount of people that have said to me, oh, you must be used to it. Have you got an umbrella? I could bash you over the head with a bloody umbrella.
Mel get aggressive. Oh my goodness.
No, I am used to rain. Obviously, I'm very good. That is, as a side note, as a Brit, you know how to predict the weather. You can look at the sky.
Your tits feel it. You're like one of those.
It has nothing to do with my breasts, darling.
30%
You look at the
chance,
sky
30%.
and you know, because you've lived in the UK, you can predict what's happening.
Good.
It's a thing that we can do.
I'm impressed. It's like
Yeah.
a sixth sense.
It's amazing. Aren't we amazing? Not really. Anyway, what are we talking about, darling?
Well, we're talking about our sex toy confessions from our followers and their opinions on sex toys in general.
Yes.
And we did a little poll on Instagram and asking people if they wanted to share their confessions or sex toy stories with us. And we also obviously did some polls that people responded to. And it is very interesting as to people's, opinions on the whole thing. So
It is.
especially in this day and age where you think that like fucking everyone has a sex toy by now because like we're very sexually free, especially in Canada, at least, and even America, some, the Western countries. But yeah, no, people still don't own sex toys. I know my friends still don't own sex toys. People just aren't really open to the idea of it.
They still have hang-ups around it.
Yeah.
Or they feel that they shouldn't need to use them. There's still some kind of idea around that.
Yeah.
I think for some reason. Maybe particularly with men. It's funny because, like you say, you can buy them like pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
And so why is it an issue? I mean, it is definitely different, but people still have issues.
They really
Even
do.
talking about it, and you're like, it's really not a big deal.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just something that they're scared to talk about of some sort. Like they just going into a sex toy store. People, it's like the most bought online thing ever.
Yeah.
Because you just can do it discreetly.
Sure.
People don't want to go into the store.
Sure. I think the stores are still a little bit different to the online thing. I mean, the stores in Toronto, like the some on Yonge Street, and they're pretty inoffensive. I mean, but they still have a slight, like everyone who walks in is a bit like looking over their shoulders.
Totally.
Anybody like looking around. And you're like, it's really not that exciting.
I love going to my local sex store. It's like one of my favorite things to do. It's on Queen Street. I'll give it a shout out. It's called Hanky Panky.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's so cute. And it's not hanky. It's not to be confused with Hanky Panky, the underwear.
Right.
It's it's a really cute little boutique on Queen Street West. And it's just like, you go in there, the woman is so sweet who like owns it.
Oh, that's
She'll
good.
help you out. Like it's super small. Like you don't have all of the range of whatever the
Right.
fuck. It's not like one of those huge ones on Young where they have literally everything for every fetish and kink. But it's got all the basics. Got cute underwear, cute lingerie, some kinky stuff. But yeah, it's all
and it's
good.
independent.
It's independent, which I like better. Like I don't want to. And I'm all for buying online. Obviously, like if you want something, I've obviously done it. Like, but it's like it's nice to really support the local businesses,
Oh,
especially in
100%.
sex stores.
And I would actually encourage, particularly that sounds really good, like where there's like a really somebody you can feel comfortable with, and in this case that you're saying the owner.
Yeah.
Is actually if you are nervous at all or you have any worries about it, is to actually go into a store like that. And normally the people are super cool. They'll answer all your questions. They know you're nervous. And they may suggest things when online you're just looking at this huge array
and
of
you have no idea.
Slightly overwhelming, and some of the things are a little bit kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go into the store and talk to somebody and it's a totally normal conversation, it is actually a good thing to do. I would encourage anybody who is a little bit worried, nervous, thinks they're not sure, whatever, to do that. And because they're generally great and they're so helpful.
They really are. They generally are. I mean, I'm not going to say all because I've been to quite a few sex stores, and they haven't been all great experiences.
No, I'm sure not. But you could definitely check that out. And look at the one online bit. You could go online and look at reviews and see what people say about.
That's right. And I mean, if you do live in a more secluded area, you don't live in Toronto, you can always go to vibrator.com. That's VIBR8TOR.com, and you can use the code MS15 for 15% off everything in store. That's also an option for you if, you do want to buy a little bit more discreetly. You don't want to go outside. You don't want to, it obviously
100%.
packaged discreetly and it comes to your house discreetly. So that's another option. But you know where I bought my first sex toy?
I think you've told me.
In Amsterdam.
Yeah. Which is actually hilarious.
And I never used one before. And so it was like a completely new experience. It was a rabbit and it was amazing.
Yes.
And I remember going back to my hotel and using it. And literally, it was a life changer.
Right. I think it is for a lot of women. It's like life changing. You're like, oh. Yeah.
It's the first time I think I came in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is as a woman who comes, it takes long, like not long, but it takes at least 15 minutes.
Depends on the woman.
No, but exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like with foreplay, with all these things, like with sex with a man, 15 minutes at least.
Yeah.
I'm not coming in 5 seconds with a man.
No, because the vibrator's getting straight to the business.
Straight to the point.
Get into the business.
And I always thought, I was like, oh no, I need all this foreplay, I need this. But actually, maybe I don't.
Yes.
And this is something that is great about sex toys, is it really just kind of shows you all your bits and bobs. And you can actually discover a lot about yourself.
You can definitely discover your bits and bobs, Suzie. That's a very good way of putting it.
Yes.
I think it's also very liberating for women.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier. And it means you're more kind of connected to it, I think. But I still there are still so many hang-ups, which to me is just
unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't know what the source of all the hang-ups is. I do find I had some conversations this weekend with some millennials.
Oh, really?
About this, mostly men.
Okay.
And I would say their attitude to sex toys was still a little bit like you're like, this isn't a big thing. But I'd say their attitudes were a bit different to older men, like, men in their 40s or 50s or 60s or older, in the sense that they know it's a thing. Like, they know that women have these, like they have, makeup. They just assume you have them, kind of. That seemed to be more the attitude.
Right.
That I was at this party and chatting to these millennial men, as you do.
Being the hot MILF that you are.
And obviously talking about sex toys. But
this is the party that I want to be at.
Absolutely. And it was a hilarious conversation. And so they were much more like, well, obviously women have sex toys. Whereas maybe Gen Xers or obviously older men would be a bit more like, well, maybe you don't. But on the other hand, I think that's a real misconception that younger people think, that anybody who's over the age of 40 is just, sitting at home drinking tea and not doing anything.
Yeah, it's like they've lost their clitorises.
Which definitely
long ago
is not the case for most people.
Just spiderwebs and dust down there.
Right. Which is not the case for many people.
No!
But I find the most interesting is, I'd say, very young people having hang-ups, like younger than you, like in your 20s, and you're like, what? But maybe that's the thing, is it does actually take a little bit of kind of living and having some relationships and some experience, but let's put it that way, to think, oh, maybe this is a thing to do next. Like, you can't do everything all at once. So in a sense, you need to be slightly older.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like as old as me, but older to maybe think, oh, I'm going to go and do that.
Well, yeah,
that
I
could
mean,
be a
like
thing.
I mean, this was like in 2013 or whatever, but I was like 18 when I got my first sex toy. You know, like it
Yeah.
wasn't for a while. Like I didn't come until I was like 18. Like
Right.
I had all these new experiences, and I was like, I want to know everything about it. So it's also a thing of like young people might not even be able to have an orgasm yet, like women at least.
Yeah.
Right? Like they don't know what the fuck is going on with their bodies. They don't want to touch themselves because it's kind of weird. They're having sex. They're not sure what to do about it.
Yeah.
They don't know what the feeling is.
Yeah, 100%. But I also think it's this thing that a lot of women and a lot of young women and a lot of young men are not aware
Yes.
of the whole issue of the stimulation of the clitoris. It's a bit of
clitoris.
sex education, everyone.
Absolutely.
And so that may be why they don't understand why they may need one,
Yes, exactly.
if you get my drift.
And there's just so much more out there. Like once you, it's kind of like the rabbit or the dildo is really the gateway drug of the sex toys. You get one of those, it's time for a clitoral
You're
stimulator.
away to the races.
It's time for a little butt plug. You know, you get a whole whack-a-loob. It's the whole thing,
Absolutely.
and you should do it. I mean, everyone should have at least one in their goddamn sex drawer.
A what?
A
butt
sex
plug.
toy.
Oh, I thought you meant. Oh, right. Okay.
Or a butt plug, just have that. That's great.
yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do, some people are not, but yeah, do whatever. What you do, you literally
do. Literally. Did you like the way I did that? I did like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna
Yes,
go
the
through the
polls.
polls
Yes.
of what you guys said of some of the questions that we asked. So we'll start with an easy one, which is, do you own a sex toy? And we asked this to our followers. 59% said obviously. 41% said not yet.
Seems like an enormous group,
Right.
unless that's a lot of men, because I do
Yeah, that's
understand
true.
why it's much more common for women to have sex toys, because I really still think even young men don't know that they can have them and do things with them.
There's so many good ones
And-
for men these days,
Yeah,
too.
and then obviously there's the whole thing about young men still being pretty hung up about the prostate thing, and I think that takes also a little bit of living to not be hung up about that.
yeah,
Just saying.
just
Anyway.
a finger in the butt.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Finger
Next,
in the butt. Thanks, Suzie.
next question. Have you ever used a sex toy? So maybe you don't own one, but you've used one as well, right?
Okay.
10% said only alone. So they've only used a sex toy alone. 29% said only with a partner.
Interesting.
34% said all the time. So they're always
Right.
using it.
Yeah.
And 26% said never.
Wow. That's quite a big group, isn't it?
It is. It's, yeah. I mean, it's really crazy. Like, also, I mean, I'm assuming the only with the partner is also men. Only alone is mostly.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? And
probably, yeah.
then, yeah, it is wild.
I think the mostly only alone is, I mean, this is a huge generalization, but it is going to be women, because I think, to be fair, you have to be quite an evolved and experienced man to be doing stuff like prostate massage. That's
Yeah.
not like something you can do. Right? Let's wake up today and let's shove that in there.
Yeah.
If you're, haven't opened the gateway, as it were.
You got to open the gateway.
Yeah. And you have to get your head around it as
Yeah.
well. So there's a whole kind of process. So I think a lot of men may not have used stuff, may not have used toys.
Yeah. I mean, there's a really actually cool toy. It's called, what is it called? It's like an egg. Have you seen it?
For a woman or for a man?
Tenga. Okay, so it's this cute little thing. It's called the Tenga egg.
Yeah.
And it's mostly you can use it for women too, but it's for men. So it's really funny. It comes in like this little egg. It literally looks like an egg. It's like the most unseeming sex toy I've ever
Right.
seen. And there's different like what is it? Like ribbing on it, I guess. There's different patterns on it
Okay.
that are like embossed, and it's like this
Okay.
jelly kind of thing. And like men use it to like give themselves like jerking off.
So they're holding it.
So they're holding it like on their dicks. It's kind of like
I
a hole,
see.
and you kind of just like you put some lube in it and you jerk off in it. If that makes sense.
Do you put your thing in the hole?
You put your thing in the hole.
So it's like
exactly.
what do they call those things? A flesh.
It's like a
fleshlight,
fleshlight, except
yeah.
for like just the jelly part of it. It's not like this huge
Oh,
thing,
huge
and it's
thing with
stretchy.
the pretend vagina.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's just very.
It's a little more subtle.
It's a very subtle toy that men
Okay.
can just have, and they
Okay.
it's usually just used for themselves. But for women, you can put it on like a dildo that might not have any ribbing, because ribbing feels nice for women,
Yes.
obviously.
Mhm.
So you can put it on your dildo,
Mm.
and then you can ride it, and it's nice.
Oh,
that makes sense.
see,
So it can
yes.
be a his and her toy.
Yeah. Yeah. But
yeah,
there are toys for men that they can like use to, have a wank, like,
like a
to
fleshlight.
No, like not a flash. Like it's sort of actually you put it on and sort of instead of you doing the hand motion.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
There's all sorts of toys like that.
I know someone who has it,
Mm-hmm.
and they say that like the sound of it is so unbearable.
Yeah, it's
because it
very-
goes.
Well, some of them
And
go
it's
crrr, like they're very like,
And it just
loud.
gets you right out of it, because
Right,
it's
yeah.
like, and then you don't.
So that's like, yeah, you're over it.
I'm not saying they're all like that, but you gotta
Yeah.
make sure you read the reviews on those.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And if it's like this unseemly noise, and then, or if you've gone off to do it somewhere kind of in private, and then everyone's, somebody hears the brrr, and they're like, what was that?
Oh my god! Like you're at your parents' house, and
Right,
it's just like,
that
what
would
the
be
fuck is
great.
going on in your
Oh,
room?
that was my electric toothbrush on
Oh my
overdrive. Like, what are you
God.
going to say? But
No,
anyway.
yeah, it's a lot. Okay, so this next question: have you ever used an inanimate object as a toy?
Yes.
Wait,
No,
is that you saying yes?
No, I'm not saying yes. But remember I told you my story
I
in
do.
quite a few episodes ago, about this girl that I knew
Yes.
who'd used
An
an
aubergine.
or as you like to refer it, as an eggplant. And me and my friend being a bit like trying to get your head around.
Yeah.
That is very large.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, right? I could see like a zucchini, a cucumber,
I mean,
maybe
if
a
you're
small squash.
you're into organic things, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It's disturbing a little bit, really. It's not very. Is it clean? I suppose you
You
eat
can
it.
clean it.
Yeah. I
You put a
guess.
condom on it.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay, well,
Mm.
37% of our followers said yes.
Yeah, I
which is
believe
quite a
that.
bit.
I believe that.
50% said never.
Yeah.
And then 13% were just confused.
I'm just confused.
They were like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like that's, I mean,
I heard this crazy story actually on
Yeah.
the subject of that on a podcast. I think it was on a podcast. It was a clip on TikTok
yeah.
about this woman who came home to find her boyfriend had been using the leg of a chair to shove up his
Shut up.
bumhole.
Shut up.
Because
Mel.
it had like a condom on it or something like that.
Shut
And
up.
I just don't even want to visualize having no idea and coming home, and he'd had the day off work or something. Yeah. And he'd positioned the chair in a certain way or something.
No.
I can't remember the exact details, but it was basically he had been levering himself onto the chair. And I don't know how
What the
clean the leg of the
fuck?
chair was. That might have been the clue, or the fact that there was a condom on. I don't know, but it's just like people do some well fucked up stuff.
I would way rather.
That is definitely not necessary.
Oh
I don't
my
even want to think about the potential accidents.
Oh, that's what happens in the ER room, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I was telling you about a TikTok I saw today, which somebody has to explain the TikTok algorithm. So you mentioned sex once and they ban you. And I see today this TikTok, which is a guy in a room naked. They've got the fuzzy bits, and the ambulance people are in there because he's got his dick stuck in the tube of like a vacuum cleaner.
Oh my God.
And they're trying to get it off. Not quite sure why they can't get it off. I was a bit like, okay, I don't really
it's
want
stuck in there?
It's
yeah,
stuck
you're
in
right.
there, exactly.
Oh my
And
God.
then the one of the ambulance people then steps on the electricity cord by mistake, and then But, I have heard stories of that sort of thing happening. Because I guess, if you haven't got anything to hand, then maybe that's what you do. I don't know. Do you? But can you imagine how bad that could be?
No.
I mean, I don't know. What goes through your head?
I don't know, just fuck a pie or something. Why do you have to go through it?
Or any number of things that's not a vacuum cleaner or a chair. I mean, it's like, really?
Yeah, no, I can't with a chair. I can't with a chair leg. That is way too much.
The thing about the chair leg, and this is my last thing about
Yes.
the chair leg, is that if you, and this is obviously for anal sex, right?
Yes.
Is that if he'd gone to that much trouble to figure out a chair, blah, 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 he could have gone to a fucking shop and bought something. You're like, mate, if your imagination has created this whole scenario, thought this was a good idea, he's put some thought into this. I think you could have gone to a shop.
Who just looks at a chair like is like, I'm gonna fuck that.
Who looks at an aubergine? I've no idea.
But yes,
Apparently
absolutely.
lots of people.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Anyway, we digress.
Okay, next one. Have you ever used your partner's sex toy on yourself? So whatever that might be. Okay, 20% said sometimes. 16% said yes, but they don't know. And
What do you mean they don't know?
63% would never. Well, maybe it's like your girl's dildo and you're putting it up your ass when she's not there.
Oh, that's not cool, is it?
That's what I'm
just
saying.
so not cool.
That's what I'm
Not
saying.
to mention it could get lost up there.
Well, you never fucking know.
Oh, that's a nasty thing to do. You've got to get consent and permission for that. Come on, boys.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
don't
be
know.
doing that
That's
kind
all
of
I'm
stuff.
saying.
That is grim.
Yeah. It might not be it. Maybe they're doing the clit suck on their little nipples or something. And they're like, ooh, that feels nice. No?
No.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, next one. Have you ever put it in the wrong hole? Okay. 10% said yes. Ouch. 55% said no. Oh my God. 26% said what the fuck. And then 10% said DMing in our story.
Right.
So we'll go through those stories after.
Yeah. Like a makeshift, like i.e. pretty much you don't have something for the back door hole is what you're talking, and you use something for the front door hole.
I don't know how this happens. How does it go into the wrong hole?
I think it's because you suddenly think this is a really good idea, and it really generally
Yeah,
isn't.
you're right.
Generally is a terrible idea. Just saying that to anyone. Most of those things, I'm sorry, as somebody's lived a fairly long time on the earth, generally, if you're going to do these things, you need to think this through. It's generally never a good idea for that kind of thing to be spur of the moment. Just saying.
I mean, sometimes I understand, like, sometimes when you're fucking and, like, let's say, like, you're on top and you're going up and down and you're going way too fast and way too slippery and it can go in the wrong hole that way and that can hurt. And that might be happening when
Are we
you're...
talking about a penis?
Yes, we're
Or
talking about a
toy?
penis.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, what if this is happening when you're on a dildo or something?
I think you should generally know.
In the
if it's
shower,
slipped
I don't know.
into
It's
the
like,
wrong
whoop!
hole.
You know?
I mean, I mean, generally you should know which hole you're in.
I don't know.
But the toy, I mean, like,
I know. I don't know how you're getting in the wrong
I know
hole.
you've
It's a
done
lot
it.
of
You've done
control.
it purposely.
You have. You have to.
You've said this is an idea. Let's do this, and it's generally not a good idea.
Okay.
Just to say, there is an end on a block plug for a reason,
Yeah.
so it doesn't go up the proverbial butt.
Ugh, it's so funny. Okay, so we're asking the vulvas now.
Vulvas,
What are the vulvas' favorite toys?
right?
Okay. 17% said dildo.
Mm-hmm.
52% said the clit sucker.
Clit sucker,
Like a womanizer.
or the little rose
Little-
thing. Yeah, yes.
And then 14% said a butt plug. And obviously there's
Oh.
way more options out there, but these are the ones I had because I feel like those are the main ones usually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm with the clit suckings.
Mm-hmm.
That's my fave.
Okay.
And then I would say dildo and then butt plug.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have any experience with any of these, Mel, but
I have lots of experience with lots of things. But I'm surprised about the butt plug, actually. I mean, obviously I know people use them, but I would just think that it'd be more percentage of the other
I know.
things.
I'm surprised that even like there's been 14% butt plug
Yeah.
in it. It feels nice.
Well, yeah.
If you get a small one, it's in
I'm
there.
not saying that. I'm just saying that generally,
Some
if
more
you're do-
experimentation.
yeah, and you need a bit more time, all that sort of
You do.
malarkey. You know,
A little more clean up before and after.
Yeah. Please, any backdoor action, clean yourself.
Clean yourself, god damn
Because
it.
It's not fun.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so we're talking to the dicks now.
About the dicks.
What are the dicks' favorite toys? Okay. 31% said fleshlight.
Yeah.
17% said prostate massager.
17%.
17.
Okay.
And then 43% said cock ring. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it goes cock ring, fleshlight, prostate massager.
But how many do you think straight or gay men who are not in a relationship own a fleshlight?
I think a lot of them do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I was a man, but this is just me, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely
Probably
own a
is.
fleshlight. Like, I don't know if I'd own like a butt plug or like a prostate massager, but I would definitely be owning a fleshlight.
But if you have a woman,
even
you're
if
in a
but
relationship.
what if she's away? What if she's like out for the evening and you can kind
But
of
then
just
you
go to
just have
town?
a quick, in the shower, whack one out, as it were.
But then you want to have more fun with it. I don't know.
Do men take that much time to get that sort
But
of
it's
thing
like
done?
it's just not about the time. It's about the experience. It's like,
Okay,
why do
fair
women
enough.
have dildos if they have got? Why don't they just have the clit suckers if they've got a boyfriend? They need it all.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Got it. I'm
Everyone
processing
can use
this
a fleshlight.
information.
I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently they love the cock ring. I'm assuming it's because they can also use it with their women.
Yeah,
So that's nice.
that is very nice.
That's
of them.
nice, guys.
It's very,
Thanks, guys.
thoughtful.
That's nice. Okay. Next one is, do you use lube when you're alone?
Mm-hmm.
26% said most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
52% said never do.
Mm-hmm.
And then 22% said, should I be? And I mean, I think that obviously depends on you. But I think lube is always just cherry on top, you know?
Yeah, depends what you're doing, doesn't it?
I think it's always just kind of nice to have it in there.
Yeah, I think actually though a lot of people have problems with certain kinds of lube, and it takes them a long time to find the thing that they want.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like the consistency, or
True.
the stuff gives them allergies or whatever. There's lots of different things, right?
True.
And that is a process of finding out. I also think that if you don't have any issues, so for example, older women start to have issues as dryness and stuff like that, so they start to think about it more. I think if you've not had any kind of issues surrounding like that, I think often people don't think about it.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. So they don't even think that it could be better if
Yeah.
you get my drift using it. So yeah.
I mean, lube is so fun. Like, you can get all types of lube. I'm one of those people who I don't need to use it like all the time. Like, it's just kind of like a nice little extra if I feel like
Add-on.
it. It's an add-on. But like, yeah, it's just like there's so many kinds where you can get warming lubes, you can get cooling and warming lubes,
There's lots of stuff, and there's lots of stuff depending
and
on
natural lubes.
Yeah, like water bait, like all different kinds.
I have
right?
I actually found this really good. I forget what it's called though, which sucks. But it's I found it at like my like local organic grocery store.
Yeah.
And it's like in this little jar. It looks like cream.
Yes.
And it's like lubrication. It's like
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, it's probably coconut oil and some other shit.
Can't you get you can get CBD stuff as well,
Oh,
can't you?
fuck yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's any number of things. I just think that people may not think about it because they don't have an issue with
Yeah.
lubrication. So they don't think, well, I need to go and buy it. They don't think it's not just for people who have issues, if you
Yeah.
see what I mean. And I think that's actually a general theme surrounding many things in sex.
True.
Yeah. Anyway,
True.
carry on, please.
Okay, so do you this is actually our last question. So do you need to watch porn to orgasm?
Interesting. That's very interesting.
Okay, so 35% said need to.
35, right?
15% said never do.
Mm-hmm.
And then 50% said once in a while.
I think that's pretty accurate.
I always need to,
Really?
which is kind of weird. I feel like coming from a woman, sometimes women have a better imagination sometimes than men, and they kind of just do it without needing to watch or do anything like that.
So you need the visual
I
stimulation.
need the visual stimulations, I think, to just get me out of my body a bit.
Okay.
I think maybe I think about it too much if I'm,
In your case,
if that makes sense.
yes.
Yeah.
As we've discussed many times.
Yes, we have.
It's a constant thought process
It's
thing going,
exhausting.
yeah. I think that sounds about right, actually, to
Yeah.
me. That I'd say some people, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't.
Yeah. It's just a nice thing. We just pop it on.
Pop it on.
Just pop it on. Pop it on the big screen. No.
Pop it on the big screen, yeah. Oh, my God.
Just let your boyfriend come home. Oh, no,
What's that on the screen?
just doing some research.
It's yeah. Anyway.
Did that
yeah.
ever happen to you, Mel?
What? That it was on the screen? No, I tell you one story. I once checked into a hotel, and
Yeah.
this is when my kids were very young,
Oh
and we
my
were
God.
checking into the hotel, and we hadn't been in the room, right?
Yeah.
And we went up to the room. The whatever concierge or whatever showed us up to the room, and it was kind of a nice room. It was like a sort of a suite.
Yes.
And the kids were little, and they went and turned the TV on.
Oh,
and
no.
the first thing that came on was this full-on porn.
No.
And they were sort of like looking at the screen.
They,
and,
like, have no
kids
idea.
do, like going, oh, like that, and turning their head. And the concierge guy was like, oh, like, oh my God, where's the clicker? Where's the thing? What do you call it?
The remote.
Clicker is, English. Like, where is it? And, like, freaking out. And we're just going, oh, this is great. Thanks a lot. However, it was good because we got money off the
Thank
run.
fucking God. We love
Because you're like,
that.
you could have traumatized my children for
Yes.
life. They're not traumatized.
Well,
But it was interesting.
yeah.
But these things happen all the time. Or
Yes,
people
they
have
do.
stuff on their iPads. I've seen that before, where you look at somebody's iPad and you're like, I know what you've been looking at, and then they
No.
try and make some stupid excuse like,
I just don't know why you're not deleting
I don't know
your history.
why is that there. Well, this is generally older people,
Oh, yeah.
and they're like, they don't realize these things,
or even like, yeah, I mean,
or their
like, if
wives
you,
or their husbands don't realize that you know
you can go in incognito mode,
exactly.
and then you never have, you just delete the
Incognito
tab.
mode,
You
people.
never got to see that
Yeah,
again.
exactly. Or go and buy yourself a DVD, as we said in our
Oh,
one of our last
perfect.
episodes. Yes, go and buy yourself a DVD. But anyway,
Okay, so people also sent in.
they sent us messages
Some of them sent us messages
with a bit more detail.
Obviously, we're not going to say who sent these
No.
messages. And
But thank you for sending the messages.
thank you so much
Thank
for
you
sending the
sharing.
messages in.
I hope you've recovered.
Yeah. Okay, so this person got a butt plug stuck in them and had to go to the ER.
Oh, holy shit.
Yes.
Bit holy shit.
It's
there you go.
literally holy
Yeah.
shit. Okay.
That's not funny.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Sure, they've seen it many times.
I think this person is having a laugh about it, but yeah, apparently 16 hours in the ER and the x-ray was hilarious.
I wonder if it was an actual butt plug.
I don't know because
they
how
have
can it get
ends.
stuck? Exactly.
Unless, well, I don't know. Your bum literally swallowed it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
apparently got
How'd
lodged.
you get it out?
It lodged in the pelvis. They had a colonoscopy.
God.
Surgery. Apparently, they had pushed it a little too far.
Oh my God. Oh, God, I have to try and get that image out of my head.
Anyway, just be careful when you are dealing with butt plugs.
Yeah.
Because this responder also said that while using it for a weekend away, they pooped on it. Taking it out.
Oh, I see. I think, yeah, I mean, come on, that's obviously these things can happen. Okay, so if you're going to go and deal with some backdoor magic,
Got it.
it is the poop hole, and you obviously need to clean. But even if you do clean, obviously that's where poo comes out. So there could be poo. You have to be prepared for the poo.
Say poo one more time.
Poo.
No.
You have to be prepared.
Yeah.
I don't think that's really a big deal that they pooed on it. For goodness sake, it is their poo hole.
Ugh.
I mean, poo is never good. Although some people like that, and if that's what you like,
I'm
you
not
like
into that. Whenever I do anal, I am so self-conscious about what the fuck is happening back there.
Poo is
I
not
can barely
good.
enjoy it.
Poo,
But I
as,
do
as,
still do.
as we know, I'm into cleanliness, and poo is not
Not
in my remit. I just, whoa.
Oh God. Well,
Well, there we go.
that's
So
it.
what
That's
have
all I
we
got for
learned?
you.
Have we learned anything?
well, you guys are, I think everyone should get themselves a gosh darn sex toy
yeah.
if you don't have one already.
But do what you want to do. I think that's the thing. Is
Yes.
don't be pressured by thinking, oh, I've got to be doing all these things. Because honestly, if people are telling you they're doing all these things, they're probably not doing them, because otherwise they wouldn't be talking about it.
Yes.
So you do whatever you want to do, whether it's, with yourself or your couple or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think every woman really should own a vibrator.
Yes, I mean, exactly. Like men have it, honestly, you guys have it a bit easier, right? Like it's all
Yeah.
out there. It's all on display.
And it's much easier to use what God has given you.
Exactly. For
Your
ladies,
two hands.
if you need
And-
to explore a bit.
But also for
Okay.
ladies,
Yes.
it is harder as you get older, especially if you've had children, to use what God has given you,
Yeah.
i.e. your hands. It doesn't work in the same way. And depending on what damage or whatever's happened, it can be very it just doesn't work.
Okay, even now, my hands get so tired, like they have arthritis.
You have arthritis?
I don't, but it feels like I do after I've gone on a long sesh. And I'm like, I don't know how to fix that.
Wow.
You know? Like I want, those, we were just talking about the guys where they have just like a fleshlight that just stays on them.
Right.
I want that for a girl.
So do you remember that episode in the show with Jane Fonda?
Yes.
And
I
Lily
want
Tomlin?
that
What is that
dildo.
show called?
Grace and Frankie.
Right. So they specifically, that's it, Grace and Frankie. They specifically developed this toy for older women who have arthritis.
Yeah. I know. And that's what I want.
I am slightly concerned as to how long this is going on for.
No, I mean, like my hands are fine. Like I don't get it any other time. It's literally just when I'm
Right.
because I think my hands are in such a solitary position for so long or something like that. Because I'm like holding
Right. I'm
my
with you.
vibrator. I don't know. I don't know what happens. If there's a hand doctor listening, maybe you can give me some insight.
Yeah, interesting.
Or if this is a common thing, because I don't know.
Or maybe there's some kind of tripod thing that can hold it.
That'd be great. Fabulous. Anyways, that's all for us today.
Anyway, that is that. And that was interesting.
I hope you guys
love
enjoyed.
the sharing.
Please let us, when we do our next poll, make sure to vote. Cast your votes in.
And vote honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, we don't, we're
not sharing what you're saying.
Exactly. Exactly. So just
and
share
send
and
us
be
your
honest.
stories.
100%. We want to hear those stories because I think that's great that people share. And you've got to have a bit of a sense of humor. If some of those things have happened to you, it's the best way.
It truly fucking is.
Just,
it's
and
so
everyone
funny.
has stupid stories.
Yeah.
They're just not sharing them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's time for you to share your truth.
It is. Thank you for listening, everyone. And we'll
catch
see
you
next
later.
time.
Boom. Sharing My Truth Pod is so excited to partner with Vibrator.com, where the A in vibrator is the number 8. This is an extremely exclusive code where no other podcast has it. If you go to Vibrator.com right now, use the code MS15, that's MS15 at Vibrator.com. You can now get 15% off anything in store. That's any sex toys for you, your partner, your neighbor, your mom. We don't judge. We don't care. Get it now. Go to the link in our bio, put in the code, and get jiggy with it.
Thanks so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast and follow us on social at Sharing My Truth Pod and leave us a voicemail on our website, sharingmytruth.com, to share your stories and experiences with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.